everyone, welcome to the Parafed Huddle podcast. Today we get to sit down with Tupou. She is a Paralympian, so I felt very lucky to be able to chat with her. And in our chats, we get to talk about her experience as an athlete, her experience growing up, and everything that she's learned along the way. So dig into it, listen to it over and over again, because we have some great conversations where she discusses how she feels and who she is. Other than that, you might notice my awesome beanie. So make sure that you get your member registrations in. Even if you're not an athlete, there's still ones that you can sign up for, and then you'll get this awesome beanie. Anyway, onwards with the show. Enjoy the chats that I have with Tupou, and swing in next week for another exciting episode. What's your story? Where did you come from? Where did you come from as an athlete? And what are you about?
So when I was about 2.5 years old, I was involved in a hit-and-run car accident. So I got hit by a speeding car, which left me with left side hemiplegia and a traumatic brain injury. So left side hemiplegia meaning that my left side is smaller and weaker than the right side. And traumatic brain injury meaning that like my processing can be a bit slow sometimes, or or I could say things that just doesn't make sense. So yeah.
You're just like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. And so as an athlete, so obviously you had your accident when you were quite young. How did that impact your development as a person, and what did that mean for you as your athletic career, I guess?
Because I was still like quite young, like obviously I can't really tell what the impact was for me right now compared to if I was, an able-bodied person. But, there were like restrictions growing up where I did have like a hand splint, finger splints, leg splints, and, I couldn't do certain things like run to keep up with the girls, or like just like catch the ball or anything. Kind of just throws me back to netball. When I first went to try out for netball, I couldn't keep up with the girls because I couldn't run, or I couldn't keep up with them, catch the ball, or be able to play in general with them because, there are like so many restrictions and stuff. And that's when my physio said maybe it's not for me. And I was really gutted because, those are my friends at the time, and, I wanted to be what they wanted to be.
Yeah.
So not being able to hang out with them or play what they loved to play was like really guttering for me. And yeah, that's when she pretty much suggested swimming. So,
And swimming came into the picture.
Yeah.
Did you feel that you were, like obviously you got the sense, like physically you noticed the difference, but did you feel that you still wanted to play netball?
The thing is that I didn't know that what's called, I was gonna stop netball completely. So when the next netball session came, training session came, I was like, okay, I want to play netball today, and then I'm not doing netball, and then I think I was like, just like, oh, okay,
Okay,
yeah, I was like, okay, and I was but like when my physio had suggested the swimming part, like for me not to be able to play netball, I was so like really sad because, when I went to school with the same people, they would, practice their shooting or their passing during break, and I had no idea what they were doing, and I had no clue what they were talking about when they were talking about certain skills about netball and stuff. And I guess I kind of felt left out from the group, but I guess looking back now, like, there was no way to avoid it kind of thing. So, yeah.
And do you find that like not doing netball significantly impacted your like social interaction, or was it kind of like swimming still provided that team aspect of that? I mean, all kids need,
Yeah. I think netball for me, the way I see it, I'm not exactly sure, obviously, because I didn't really pursue a netball. I feel the way I see netball from outside of the circle of sport is that, like, it's a team thing. Obviously, everyone's supposed to communicate with each other. So I did think it was like really social for them. Yeah. Whereas with swimming, it's kind of hard when your head's underwater more than half the time. So even now, like, it's so funny because like I could be having a conversation with someone and they'd be like, oh yeah, blah, 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 and then go underwater and then come up, oh yeah, and this and that, and then go underwater and come back up. So it was kind of like funny. But like, for me at that time, I did kind of shy away from a lot because I felt like I was different, and I also felt like just left out from the other kids, and I guess it didn't help with knowing that I was different to everyone because of my disability. So I kind of was like, oh, okay, like everyone's like better than me at this and that and this and that. But not realizing until I got a little bit older that I actually am good at something, which is swimming. And swimming, I've met so many people along the way, so many amazing people. Like I've managed to meet like all my role models, like Sophie Pascoe, Mary Fisher, Rebecca Dubber, Cameron Leslie, and managed to be able to swim aside them. And even up to this day, I know that swimming has given me so much more confidence to be able to speak up and share my story with other people, and it's just been amazing.
Yeah, it's a great platform to be sitting on. As you developed your swimming, did you mentally begin to grow more, do you think, in your confidence and ability to perform, do you think?
Definitely, yeah. Because especially when you get a bit older, like intermediate to high school, you start to go through certain changes through your bodies, and you start to become more aware of things. And for me, being a young teenager, going through high school, going through intermediate and stuff, like I start to kind of really notice and analyze my disability, and like kind of just compare it to, like, I know a lot of us, including me, like we compare ourselves to other people that we shouldn't be comparing ourselves to, because I don't know, I think like everyone just does that at a certain part of their life, or
human, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just the us being human. And if anything, swimming's just made me more confident, because it's made me with all the training and stuff, I know I've put 100% effort into every training session that I've done, or at least I like to think I did. I like to think I put 100%.
Your coach is watching this,
from what I know, it's 100%. And yeah, like being able to, I guess, one thing I know with swimming is that if I didn't take swimming up or didn't do any sport, my left side would be strength in it would be a lot worse. So it's kind of just gaining confidence in that, knowing that this isn't exactly the body I want. Like, yeah,
but
I'm confident with it. But knowing that I'm on the right path to be able to feel like I am the best version of myself, and that's pretty much all I need. I have my family there to support me, my friends there, and everyone that's supporting me along my journey right now, and before and in the future, those that will come on board. I'm more than grateful to have them in my life, because they've kind of made me the person that I am today. And if it wasn't for them, I'd probably still be like a bit shied off towards like a lot of people that are in my life right now, and I probably wouldn't have them if it wasn't for swimming. And I'm just really grateful for that.
Absolutely. How did you get that kind of gratitude? I mean, because I know a lot of kids that and teenagers that are gradually, like, you can see them like developing into adults, and to have that perspective of, I'm my best right now. It's so easy to compare yourself these days, with like, I was just thinking it would be so great to be able to present that identity that you have along social media, but social media is such a visual, and like you have to be very creative and very clever with what you put up to convey that. But yeah, how did you get that kind of gratitude and pride,
I think it's like more my parents than anyone else. They've been like my number one supporters since day one. They've been there through, the dark times as well as in the light and stuff. And it's kind of just them that's been able to support me and give me advice and courage to be able to stand up, stand tall, and be bold. And yeah, it's pretty much just them.
Yeah. Right. All the parents out there, are you listening? It's your job. Tupou's parents will have a workshop next week.
Bring notes.
Yeah. Oh, that is really, really cool, because that's something that, as I said, like, you don't see in this world, or it's like it's getting rarer and rarer to see that kind of like confidence.
Yeah.
And even if someone is confident, you can't help but be aware of like that social aspect that is online these days, So what would you tell someone that's younger, that's trying to, battle the ideas of today and trying to become their own person that is living with a different sort of ability? What kind of, if you had them as a mentor, if they had you as a mentor, what kind of things do you think you'd like talk to them about?
I guess the biggest thing is acceptance. You can't do anything right now to change who you are, and it's kind of just being able to be like, okay, so maybe I'm not the same as everyone else, but that isn't a bad thing at all. That's not a bad thing at all. It's just being able to use that as a strength to be able to find something that you love and know that you're good at doing, and being able to pursue that, as well as just being yourself and just not caring what anyone else thinks about you, because at the end of the day, they're not the ones that have to go through what you go through personally. It's you, so pretty much just do what makes you happy.
Yeah, that's so cool. Really, really cool. So what's on the cards at the moment in terms of athletic Tupou? Like, what are you projecting yourself for? What's training going on at the moment? What's your performance side of life at the moment, I guess?
It's a bit hectic, especially since after lockdown. Lockdown, I did use that. There was a bit of training and stuff, but for me, it was more of a time to be able to reset and reflect on what I did before lockdown, and what I can do to make life after lockdown, a better way to be able to prepare myself towards Tokyo. And I guess right now, it's just going back straight into training. I've started school now. I'm back at school now, studying, sports and exercise. That's only part-time though, because I do know that I do have to make sacrifices to be able to still train. And it's just being able to try and balance that together, and know that while I'm doing that, I'm still happy personally, that what I'm doing is making me feel good about myself, and that's kind of all that matters. Training, just meeting with my coaches, nutritionists, and athlete life advisors, just making sure that I'm in a good bubble, and just pursuing from there, making sure I continue on that path towards Tokyo.
You mentioned something before, and I don't think it's anything that we've actually talked about on the Huddle platform, which is cool. But so you mentioned that you have a nutritionist. Yeah. Did you say life coach or
athlete life advisor?
Life advisor. So what kind of work do you do with those guys? I mean, I know it sounds self-explanatory, but how much work do you do with those guys as well?
So the people I see like for those kind of things is my nutritionist, athlete life advisor. I do have a psychologist and a mental performance coach. It sounds like there's a lot of people, but it's not actually as much. But there's, so much that I learned from that group of people. And they've, also have been part of the people that's helped shape myself into who I am today. And with them, I try to see them at least once every 2 or so weeks. It just depends on the schedule really, and with them it's just being able to sit down and reflect on the last time I met them, the time between then and the time I meet them, just going through what worked, what didn't work, am I actually keeping to the plan, and just stuff like that. My mental performance coach, my athlete life advisor, and my psychologist is just being able to look at what we can do in and out of the pool, to be able to, you know, better myself, especially around racing and stuff, and how I could be more comfortable in general and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, because you hear like other coaches talk about moving the needle or improving that 1%. Yeah. How much do you feel that training your brain and training, I guess, your engine via important nutrition and things, how much do you feel that that moves the needle for you?
It definitely moves like yeah, quite a lot. Yeah. Just because you know, like there's just so many information and so many good advice that they give me, and it's just being able to take that in, and sometimes it's really hard to take it in. But the good thing with them is that you know, they do send notes on the emails or just go. Yeah, just like as a summary of what we did and what I need to work on and stuff like that and take away. And yeah, it's been really good, and I'm just like truly grateful for them because they've done so much for me. Absolutely.
So in terms of like nutrition specifically, what's kind of one of the biggest things you've learned about nutrition and performance?
I think the biggest thing I was most surprised about was recovery.
Yeah.
Recovery is brutal from what my nutritionist had told me, especially after a really hard session, just because back then like I would not recover at all, like you know, I just wouldn't feel like it, or my parents asked me like but no.
In terms of like eating something after the session,
having snacks or stuff like that, and even just having something as simple, or not simple, but it's actually quite a brave thing to have, but just something like breakfast. For me, like when I was going through high school, my high school years, like I wouldn't have breakfast at all every day, just because like I was just not hungry, or sometimes I'd skip lunches, or like go through the whole school day without lunches because I just wasn't hungry or wasn't feeling it. And that's one thing I learned as a learning curve, that it was, you know, one of the most important things that I hadn't done, and what my nutritionist was trying to help me better myself in that. And it took me a really long time because like I didn't really know, but it was just like really hard for me to be able to eat at that certain time, but we got through it. So yeah.
If we were gonna turn back 5 years and you were gonna talk to your 5 year ago self, would there be some sort of advice that you'd give to yourself back then?
Don't touch the KFC. Look where I am now. It's definitely you know, don't worry about what others say, because I was really, you know, conscious about what people were saying, and like for me back in school, I was skirted quite long, but not that long enough to cover my splint. So because I wore my splint back then, I'd always pull my skirt down to try and cover it. Yeah, and I'd always wear big jackets just so not, because my disability, my left side is smaller than the right side. And for me, a lot of people said that it's not obvious, but for me, like looking in the mirror, it was just so obvious to me. And I'd always put a jacket on to like cover it. Even when we do PE, I'd wear a jacket and like sometimes like really long shorts to try and cover everything. I was just so like self-conscious about how I looked, and how people saw me back then, that my advice to them would be, you know, like, don't be like scared of what other people think of you, because, you know, like I said before, they're not the ones that have to do or go through what you go through every single day. And it's just being able to let myself know that, you know, better days are coming and you'll get there as long as you just keep doing what you're doing. So.
Was that something, sorry, we're going to extend this longer because I'm interested. Was that something with the jackets and the shorts and things, was that something that you actively did, like you thought in your mind, like, I have to hide this? Or was it something that you kind of just did automatically and then later you've realized that that's why you did it?
Yeah, so... Because I used to wear, you know, I used to wear like t-shirts, like shorts and stuff, like going through into media and that, like I was still self-conscious at the time, but, you know, I guess it didn't really hit me because I was still quite young. But when I was getting older, I was about 14, 15, 16, that, you know, I kind of like, looked at myself in the mirror at one time and I was kind of like, yeah, I don't like that.
Wow.
Yeah, but
that must be so hard as a teenager.
Yeah, and you know, like at school there were certain people that, you know, were quite mean, or some people like that aren't intentional to hurt you, but, you know, asking questions like, why is your hand like, why is this like this and why is this like that? Like, they don't mean it, they're just curious, but
it's just another like, oh.
Yeah, it's like yeah, but yeah, I guess it was kind of like I kind of just put the jacket on at one point and I looked at it and I was like, yeah, I think I'll just wear this. And I think it just started to turn into a habit where even like unconsciously I just stick it on. Even up till now, like a lot of the times I do wear like jackets and stuff, but it's like unconsciously, so I just don't know until like sometimes I'm just like, okay, what am I doing? Like, you know, I have to be able to be confident with myself. I can't say I'm 100% confident with myself, how I look or am today, but I know that I'm getting there and that's all that matters. So yeah,
the fact that you're working on it is just, it's so brave and it's so hard, and I think we've all like got those things, those little like demons and skeletons in our closets that we're all, it's easy to just turn a blind eye to them, but it's, as I said, so brave to just be like, you know what, I acknowledge that I struggle with this, and as you said, you're working on it, which is amazing as a person and definitely as an athlete. Like, that's something huge. So yeah, we'll close it there. But thank you so much for coming in to the beautiful spinal unit. The lunchroom.
Nice.
So I will put all of Tupou's details in the comments or in the episode script. So if you want to get in contact to her, you can do that if you want to know more, because she's a fascinating person. Otherwise, next week I've got somebody very, very intelligent coming on the show. So I'm really excited to hear what he has to say for you guys. And until then, thank you. Anything you want to finish with, or
call me nuts? Yeah, thank you for listening.
See you guys next week.